Good evening, everyone. Excuse me, Mr. Finkelstein, will you please have a seat? It's so nice to see all of you here tonight. I'm Jeff Tilson, one of the co-chairs this evening, and it's my distinct pleasure to welcome you all into this building tonight. And just a little side note, I don't know why the heck I'm here anyways, except to honor, I'll just give a shout out to Jen Kammeyer. I don't know where she's sitting, but she asked me to be on the board last year, and I'm a retread, as I've done this a couple times, but she said, hey, you'll enjoy it. She drove by my house one Friday afternoon and said, here's your gift, and she threw a challah out the window on a Friday afternoon and said, welcome, it's all going to be on Zoom. Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Jen.
I'm so happy to be here this evening with all of you. I'm Marlene Miller, the other co-chair of tonight's 2021 JCC of Greater Columbus Annual Meeting. We have a packed agenda tonight, a lot of people and accomplishments to celebrate, and leadership transition to honor.
We are so glad to see representatives from our partner organizations here tonight. Please join us in welcoming Joel Markovich and Audrey Tuckerman from Jewish Columbus. Karen Mosener and Pam Gerwin from Jewish Family Services. And Chris Christensen and Ira Shearer from the Wexner Heritage Village.
I want to take a moment and reflect on the unprecedented year that we have all had. Much was taken from us: socialization, travel, experiences, and even people. As a community, we should recognize the pain of those who have lost loved ones, and we keep those people in our thoughts.
We have come a long way since the spring of last year, 2020. We're very fortunate that we're having low reports of COVID-19, along with increasing numbers of vaccinated individuals in Ohio. What great news that is. We've come a long way in our nation's fight against COVID-19. We're excited to move forward as a community and as the JCC.
Before we jump in, we wanted to do something special tonight to signify how important it is that we are all here together. The Shaheen is the Jewish prayer that we say when we want to mark a joyous occasion. And what a joyous occasion it is for us all to be together in person for the first time in over 15 months.
Please join us as we sanctify this precious moment together. The Hebrew transliteration and the English of the prayer are available on the screen. Want to do it together?
Sure. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Shehecheyanu v'kiyamanu v'higyanu lazman hazeh. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of all, who has kept us alive, sustained us, and brought us to this season. Amen.
Amen.
Now we would like to introduce Mike Clapper, JCC of Greater Columbus, CEO.
Over the last 15 months, words and phrases that we never imagined using became part of our everyday vocabulary. Shutdown, social distance, mask mandate, uncertainty. Underlying each was the anxiety each of us felt making difficult choices for which past experience offered little or no guidance. The world felt paralyzed. Yet we, as leaders of the JCC, had to keep moving forward. We had to be there for our staff, members, and community. To do so, we had to learn to lean on each other, take leaps of faith every day, and trust that it would all work out in the end. As our beloved Fred Looper used to say, sometimes ready, fire, aim is all you have. Fred understood that adversity and uncertainty are part of life. You have to make decisions with the information you have available and adjust as you learn more. We sadly said goodbye to Fred in 2020, but his wisdom and wise counsel will live on forever in our hearts. In honor of Fred and everyone whose support allowed us to be here today, I choose to celebrate a few other pandemic phrases tonight. Bubble, pod, essential worker, resilience, new normal. These words reflect the gratitude, comfort, and support I and so many of us here felt from our community partners, board, staff, and members as we navigated uncertainty. You have embraced our rethink, reopen, reimagine approach. That support has allowed us to adapt quickly to implement new safety measures, reconnect with members through the virtual J, make it through difficult financial times, and uncover new possibilities for the future. We are the J, and we are now ready for that new and exciting future. My fellow leaders in the Jewish community were among the first to remind us that we are all in this together. Joel Markovic and Jewish Columbus were in our bubble from day one, offering financial aid and teamwork. Karen Mosener at Jewish Family Services and Chris Christian at Wexner Heritage Village brought collaboration to new levels. Together, we were able to provide meals and essential services to the community and bring new meaning to the phrase, trusted pod. I truly appreciate your partnership and look forward to what we can do together in the future. Our Board of Trustees offered wise counsel during countless hours of Zoom calls, allowing us to leverage their expertise in finance, legal, marketing, and so many other areas. The news I had to bring wasn't always uplifting, but you stood with me and the entire exec team every day, reminding us that you had the confidence we would pull through. Your patience and understanding meant so much to me. Personally, I would like to thank our outgoing board president, Rick Meislish, for his unwavering support. Rick and I spoke nearly every day, including many weekends and late nights. Part reopening crisis briefing, part rethinking business strategy, part therapy session, and of course, the most important, IU sports discussion. Rick has been an advisor, mentor, and friend. I will certainly miss the conversations with Rick as he passes the torch of president to Karen Schormeyer. But I am also looking forward to reimagining the J's future with Karen and our new board. Thank you, Rick, and welcome, Karen. There's another trusted advisor in our JCC bubble that many of you may not know. But tonight I want to recognize Fred Bowditch, who will be retiring in a few months after more than 10 plus years of serving as the Columbus Jewish Community's security advisor. COVID-19 was top of mind for many people when thinking about safety this year. But Fred never took his attention off the many other security risks to the JCC and other Jewish organizations. Behind the scenes, Fred continued to keep our JCC staff and members safe. We will miss you, Fred, but we wish you a happy retirement and plenty of rounds of golf. Fred, will you please stand and be recognized? Fred, we look forward to you playing golf with us next Monday with 132 of your closest friends at our JCC Open Golf next week. We have always loved our members, but we were reminded this year how much they love the J. Even when we were unable to provide the services they needed, many of our members continue to pay their dues in support of the J Sustainability Fund. And the kind of notes of appreciation and words of encouragement we have received over the last 15 months warmed our hearts. Our members' compassion and generosity reminded us every day why we are here and why the J is the hub of our community. Last but not least, our executive team and staff, Team J. These are the heroes who quickly launched the virtual J to maintain connections with our members while programs were closed. Behind the scenes, the tenacity of our leadership team allowed us to remain financially afloat and keep staff on payroll as we prepared to gradually and safely reopen. Even as guidance from public health officials seemed to change by the day last summer, our team remained agile and responsive to ensure our environment was as safe as possible for every person who walked into our facilities. From setting up health checks to implementing sanitation and safety procedures, Team J's commitment allowed us to provide assurances of safety for fellow staff members, ECLC parents, and visitors to the Diamond Family Fitness Center. These are the people who bravely came to work every day in spite of fears for their own health and that of their loved ones, who understood that their work was essential to the physical and emotional health of everyone that JCC serves, who were heartbroken when they had to resist the hugs of children and members who were so grateful to be back at the J, who donned PPE to clean toys, classrooms, pool decks, fitness equipment, handrails, and more throughout the day, who were tasked with contacting the health department and sharing the news with exposed staff and members every time we learned of a new COVID case. We stood on the front line taking questions for which there were often no clear answers. We took a deep breath, wiped away the tears of sadness and fear, and welcomed every member with a smile and a sense of calm. To Ronnie, Louise, Melanie, Nikki, Anna, Pamela, our teachers, administration, HR, fitness, aquatics, maintenance, membership, programmers, and marketing teams, you are essential, and I thank you. As Jews have done for generations, we've proven that resilience is our greatest strength. We adapted to the current reality. We are in the process of fully reopening. It's now time to reimagine what We Are the J means for our members, organization, and community in the future. I look forward to continuing the journey with all of you. It is now my pleasure to present our first award of the night, the Joel Dinkin Professional Development Award. In recognition of the essential contributions that our staff make to the J and our members, I am pleased to introduce the Joel Dinkin Professional Development Award. This annual award, established in honor of former JCC Executive Director Joel Dinkin, offers support for a professional development award to an outstanding JCC staff member. Criteria is a JCC staff member who has shown exceptional commitment to the mission of the JCC, extends him or herself to provide exceptional help or service to a member or members that exemplifies the caring and compassionate Jewish values of our JCC, has dedicated a minimum of 1 year of service to our J, is supportive of his or her colleagues, is committed to learning and professional growth. This year, no one represents these values more than our mighty Human Resources Director. I am thrilled to announce Pamela Andrews is the winner of the Joel Dinkin Professional Development Award. Here are some of the comments her peers had to say about Pamela. Pamela has worked tirelessly to strengthen the JCC standing as an equitable and positive work environment for all employees. Throughout the pandemic, Pamela has helped guide the JCC through its most challenging year by establishing safety protocols and advancing its HR policies to meet the current moment that seemed like it changed on an hourly basis. She has spent countless hours figuring out all the new rules and regulations to make the J a safe haven for staff and its members. Pamela always put the JCC and its employees first, no matter how many tasks she might have. Pamela is always welcoming and will drop everything to sit patiently and listen or help all staff. There have been times when she's on her way home or down the hallway on her way to her car to spend time with her grandkids, and an employee stops her for assistance, and then she cancels or delays her plans to help out or just be a sounding board. I could go on all night, but you see why this year's winner is so well deserved. Pamela, will you come on up?
Thank you, Mike. Hello. Before you offer me a sweater, let me assure you I'm not chilly. And while I'm nervous about being up here, I'm not so anxious that my knees are knocking yet. Katharine Hepburn was Hollywood royalty. At the age of 74, she starred in the 1981 film On Golden Pond with Henry and Jane Fonda. Ms. Hepburn and I share a condition, essential tremor. And by George, if she can make a movie with her tremor, I can stand up here with you tonight despite mine. Ecclesiastes tells us that there is an appointed time for everything. There is a time for every event under heaven. Throughout my life, as I encountered challenges in my journey, my father paraphrased this verse as, "This too shall pass." While "this too shall pass" was often repeated during COVID, I have to tell you that "this too shall pass" took on a whole new meaning for me when I experienced my first kidney stone in January. God creates each of us with specific gifts and skills. I like to think that helping and encouraging others is one of my gifts. I know I feel an internal nudge when others are in need. Mark Twain said, "The two most important days in your life are the day you are born and the day you find out why." If you ask me why I wake up every morning and arrive to work at the J, I will tell you it is because there is real purpose for me here. What I do impacts the lives of our staff and therefore our members. I believe what I do here matters. For most of the pandemic, staff teasingly called me the COVID queen because of my COVID role within the agency. Employees called me when sick, we discussed their symptoms, consulted the Columbus Public Health Department's algorithm, and determined next steps. We communicated about testing, quarantine, isolation. Then as they recovered and returned to work, I deeply appreciate the opportunity to assist staff in such a personal and meaningful way. And at the same time, this opportunity was my greatest personal COVID challenge as I lost a good many nights' sleep concerned for staff and their recovery. Hurricane Harvey devastated the Houston JCC in 2017 as a direct result of post-hurricane conversations between Houston's JCC CEO, Joel Dinkin, and JCCA President and CEO Doran Krakow. JCCA formed J-Response in partnership with IsraAid. J-Response deployed to the Pittsburgh JCC immediately following the Tree of Life Synagogue mass shooting on October 27, 2018, and in the months that followed. We returned to assist during the one-year anniversary Memorial Weekend. In July 2020, our J was invited to join 21 other Js in a new J-Response offering. J-Response partnered with the Institute of Jewish Spirituality and offered awareness and action, cultivating character through mindfulness and mido. This cohort of JCC professionals built a culture of empathy, loving kindness, and support to develop our resilience while becoming the best version of ourselves. Through awareness and action, we employed a mindfulness process to learn 8 mido. Ronnie is going to help me with the Hebrew.
I got you covered, Pamela, no problem. Mido, or midah, a pool of sacred energy within each of us.
Virtues, values, character traits innately endowed to each of us and available to us to generate an action increasing wholeness in the world.
Chesed, loving connection.
We are connected to everyone.
Gevurah, set wise boundaries.
Through loving connections.
Anava, balanced self.
Combines loving connections and setting wise boundaries.
Zerizut, energetic response.
Our instinct to act, produce, and create.
Chodea, gratitude.
Our ability to notice, accept, and find joy.
Tzedek, righteousness.
Our instinct to do the right thing.
Shmirat chatibur, mindful speech.
Our words are powerful.
Emunah, trustworthiness.
Our instinct to build trust through reliability, integrity, honesty, and punctuality. Thank you, Ronnie. After training, each member of the cohort facilitated an awareness and action cohort at our own Joy. In November 2020, Erica Amabile, Jill Bradburn, Gina Brownlee, Melanie Butter, Sheila Klein, Nikki Henry, Nori Matukowski, Leslie Rosen, Carly Snyder, and Terry Terwilliger joined me as we began our own journey. We learned to appreciate and look forward to our weekly break from the stress of our work lives while we paused, breathed, and learned about becoming our best selves as we applied these mido in our professional and personal lives. The community that developed and the relationships that grew and were strengthened decreased our stress and improved our resilience. This amazing team of JCC leaders continues to meet monthly and gave me a new title, Mora Pamela. Thank you, Team AIA. Hoda, gratitude. I wouldn't be standing here this evening without the support of others. My parents, through their words and actions, taught us to put others first, value integrity, and always do our best. My husband, bless him, loved me powerfully and unconditionally. Because of this, even with his passing, my life continues full of joy. Twice this Jay sent me to Israel, fulfilling a lifelong dream. Louise Young interviewed me for this position. She has been a steadfastly supported colleague and friend. Carol Folkerth hired me, patiently mentored me, and cried with me at the Western Wall. Mike Clapper believes I'm a pro's pro, and actually tells this to others. Ronnie Kahn, who I'm pretty sure already knows all the answers, makes me feel wise by asking for my opinion. Thank you, Mom, Dad, Jim, Louise, Carol, Mike, and Ronnie. Working with this executive team throughout COVID was the most supportive and collaborative experience I've been a part of during my 13 years at the J. This team's leadership during the pandemic has been heroic. All JCC boards and board presidents have grown and developed the J. This board and this board president, Rick Meislich, had an unprecedented challenge. They rose to the occasion and exceeded all expectations as we navigated COVID and its impact on the agency. Thank you, Mike, Ronnie, Louise, Melanie, Anna, Nikki, members of the board, and Rick. Mark Fischel and Richard Williams provide legal advice and assistance with HR situations as needed. They are key to the HR department's success. Lori Levison is our payroll specialist and the HR department's administrative assistant. Lori's customer service to our employees is first class. She is dedicated to our mission and truly fun to work with. I could not do my job without her. Thank you, Mark, Richard, and Lori. Thank you, JCC staff, for your hard work. In the past and throughout COVID, you stuck with us, kept our J serving our members by pivoting and adapting. And finally, tremendous gratitude to God for our 4 children, each of whom is a successful spouse and parent, and for our 10 grandchildren. Isaiah and Sarah are here this evening. Sarah provides a full, fun life for her family, which includes their miracle son, who was diagnosed in utero with a condition that should have resulted in death before birth or no quality of life if born. Instead, this young man is about to start 5th grade and loves his precocious 2-year-old sister. An amazing hands-on father of 2 daughters who builds furniture and finds time to keep my house from falling apart. Isaiah just completed the 206-mile Kansas Unbound Gravel cycling race in just under 14 hours. In conclusion, a few thoughts about Ronnie.
Shmirat Khatibur.
Or mindful speech. What we say matters. Our words are powerful. What we say to others can build them up or lay them low. What we say to ourselves can do the same. I want to close by sharing Psalm 118, verse 24. I say this psalm before I open my eyes each morning as I set my intention for the day. This is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. I never imagined receiving the Joel Dinkin Award. I am humbled and so very grateful. Thank you.
Congratulations, Pamela. You are so deserving of this special award.
It's now time to present the Rabbi Nathan and Sylvia Gaynor Jewish Cultural Award. This award recognizes excellence in Jewish programming. The Gaynor family created this award to honor unique, innovative, and outstanding Jewish cultural and educational programming at the J. I am pleased to present this award to We Are the J programming initiative that was implemented throughout this past year. On the screen, you will see all the programs that were part of this initiative. In this crazy year, our JCC was able to provide incredible programming for our community. I'd like to welcome to the stage We Are the J Steering Committee.
Thank you, Jeff. I'm happy to drop a holla at your door anytime. You are an asset to our board. And most importantly, thank you to everybody in our community, including all of the co-chairs and steering committee volunteers that Karen's going to talk about shortly, for being an integral part of this program. Karen and I are honored to speak on behalf of this award. Definitely a most unusual program in a most unexpected year. This idea was born out of our desire to help keep the JCC relevant and our community connected during the height of this pandemic when our physical doors were closed. This time was unprecedented and uncertain. We were scared, we were confused, and we were isolated. And it was hard to imagine how our JCC, our community town square, could be just that. We Are the J was born to highlight the essence of who we are and what we do, to persevere, to act, and to come out stronger. We gathered our teams and rallied together to create programs and connections under our 4 main pillars: community, wellness, kindness, and tradition. You can see many of the programs and initiatives on this screen. Sharing Shabbat connected us as we all lit our Sabbath candles. Thanksgiving week of wellness kept our bodies and our souls moving and virtually together. The challah bake, believe it or not, motivated me to make my very first challah, virtually side by side with families and homes across Ohio. And the thank you notes to frontline workers and holograms extended unexpected but so very needed acts of kindness, compassion, and deliveries of true yumminess that filled our hearts and underscored our desires for hope and purpose. It was an honor, truly, to be part of this. And as we get to the end of this tunnel called the pandemic, well, we are not quite done. And this is a JCC event, so here's our shameless plug. We have 2 great efforts that we want and so very much need your participation. The first is a community recipe book where we are collecting recipes from all over the community to have available at the end of the summer. So please, please, please send yours in. The second is a community project, art project called A Pandemic in Pictures. We, as a Jewish people, we're storytellers. It's how we remember, passing our stories, our lessons, and our memories from generation to generation. And while this pandemic may not be exclusive to us, its impact on our own personal and community narrative is significant, and the lens with which we tell the story is unique and special. We hope you can help us remember and honor this time and this special program by contributing your pandemic photos to this project that will be a permanent installation here at the JCC. You can visit columbusjcc.org/wearethej to submit both your photos and your recipes. Thank you.
Like most everything at the J, success doesn't happen without the passion and tireless efforts of our volunteers and staff. It takes a village, and our village is amazing. Thank you to our honorary co-chairs, Ellen Finkelstein and Carol Folkworth, and to all of the steering committee, many of whom are standing up here with us, and committee volunteers for pushing forward all of these amazing programs. We built so much needed purpose, hope, and engagement together. And I look forward to ways that our We Are the J efforts can continue as we move into whatever is next. Please turn your attention to the screen to watch a short video exploring everything that the JCC did through the We Are the J initiative this year.
What an unprecedented year we have had. It was so incredible to look back at all that we've accomplished. The JCC pushed through, and one of the many reasons that the J was able to do so was the work of the outstanding early childhood learning community.
Please welcome Nikki Henry, the Director of Early Childhood Learning Community, to present the Shaheen Early Childhood Teacher of the Year Award. Come on up, Nikki.
Hi. The Shaheen Award was established by Holly and Brad Caston to show their appreciation for JCC teachers, recognizing outstanding leadership in early childhood education, and to raise the level of recognition for this important field. The Caston family established the award in love and memory of their daughter, Sarah Stone Caston. They called it the Shaheen Award in honor of the ways that the teachers nurtured and give life to their students at the JCC. In 1999, I was the first ever to receive the award, and I'm honored tonight to present this award to the teachers at the JCC. Our teachers are everyday heroes, and this year has never been truer. We were unable to pick just one teacher to win this year. We had to decide to award the 2021 Shaheen Early Childhood Teacher of the Year Award to all of the ECLC teachers and the administrators for the unbelievable job that they have done during this difficult time. Tonight, I'm honored to be able to present this award to three outstanding teachers who represent the three different sites. Gisela Weinstein from JCC North, Beverly Travis from JCC College Avenue, and Jessica Reif are here tonight representing the three sites. Please join me in giving all of our ECLC teachers and administrators a huge round of applause.
We are honored to be here this evening to accept the Shaheen Award on behalf of all of the ECLC teachers and administrators.
We want to thank the Caston family for establishing this award and for providing each of the ECLC sites with a special appreciation lunch.
We are so thankful for the Board of Trustees, the rest of the JCC staff, and our incredible families, parents, and grandparents that partnered with us to ensure we could have a successful year in spite of all of the challenges. Thank you.
Thank you. In addition, this evening, we would also like to recognize one of our amazing ECLC teachers that has been working at the JCC for over 40 years. Carol Highfield has been a part of the JCC Early Childhood program and a teacher at the JCC, and she is dedicated and her love of teaching and dedication to the JCC is evident every time you walk into her classroom. One of Carol's many special gifts is that she brings to the children her love of literature and her ability to bring a story to life. We want to thank Carol for her incredible dedication to the JCC and all of our families. Unfortunately, tonight was the first day of camp, and Carol was extremely tired, and she wasn't able to join us. So I just want to take this moment to recognize Carol and give her a round of applause. Thank you.
We are so grateful for all of the ECLC teachers and administrators' hard work. Thank you again.
Speaking of hard work, being a volunteer leader in any organization is incredibly hard work, and these volunteers, of course, aren't paid. Here to present this year's Helen Nudis Volunteer Mitzvah Award is Jody Carmea. Please join me in welcoming Jody to the stage.
Hello. The Helen Nudis Volunteer Mitzvah Award was established by longtime JCC volunteer and my aunt, Helen Nudas, to recognize outstanding volunteer contributions at the JCC. I am pleased to be here to present this award in her memory. This year, Helen Nudas Volunteer Mitzvah Award goes to Ben Cosberg, Chair of the Columbus JCC Development Committee.
Do one of these. Okay. Thank you, Jody. It's such an honor to receive this award in honor of your Aunt Helen and her legacy. First and foremost, I want to thank my wife, Hadina, and my two boys, Ellie and Noah, who have all been very, very patient with me all year. Year plus. I've missed several dinners, bedtimes, stories, baths, etc. So I appreciate their support. I also want to thank the amazing JCC Development Committee, which a lot are here, the JCC Board, of course, Mike, Ronnie, Melanie, Pamela, Louise, Gina, Rick, and Karen. Their support has been tremendous in this year's success and has certainly been a team effort. I also want to thank my development partner this last year and a half, Anna Shapte. While we are incredibly sad to see her go to Houston, we are incredibly grateful to her for all of her hard work. Our development program would not be where it is today without hers. Anna, thank you so much. And of course, I want to thank all of our donors. We of course would not be where we are today without all of them, and all of them going way above and beyond in their giving this past year. I love the JCC. I grew up here, worked here, and now my family's growing up here. This organization is so incredibly vital to not only me and my family, but the Columbus community, both Jewish and not. I've been fortunate to have amazing experiences here throughout my entire life, and I want to ensure others continue to have those meaningful experiences. This is why growing the development program for the JCC is so important. It ensures the services and programs the JCC offers are sustainable for generations to come. While we have come a long way from years past, we still have so much to do, and I look forward to continuing my little role in the JCC success. Thanks again.
Yeah, thank you, Ben, for leading the We Are the J program. And I just wanted to add a personal note. I've watched Ben develop as a young man, both professionally, personally, and in many ways. And to his beautiful wife, a great deal of thanks go to you too, as well, for supporting Ben in all his endeavors. I can't say enough about you and your wonderful parents. Thanks again, Ben.
Thank you.
We would like to welcome Rick Meislish, current president of the JCC Board of Trustees, to the stage to do a short reflection of his tenure as president.
Appreciate that. Before I begin my prepared remarks, I just want to take 1 second. The other day, my brother was going through some things of my mother, and he found this program from the 20th anniversary of the Winter Field Days, March 21st, 1971, a program from that day. So what that was a full day of basketball championships, and I'm happy to share and show this to everybody in here. I know a few of you will really appreciate some of the names. Apparently, at 4 o'clock that day, in the 5th grade championship game, Buckeye Industrial Supply, with yours truly on the roster, was playing for the championship of the Pioneer League. And if my memory serves me correctly, and even if it doesn't, I'm going to say we won that game. And we'll see if there's anybody here who can dispute that. When the pandemic hit, Mike and I adopted the NCAA mantra, survive and advance, as our own. The thought was to hunker down and do everything possible just to make it through the COVID crisis. But as we've witnessed tonight, our board, the JCC staff, and this community rightfully realized that we could do more than just survive. We could actually thrive. Tonight is a celebration for all that was accomplished in this very tough year. And I would like to take a minute to acknowledge some very special people that helped make this, our success, possible, and to those that contributed to the health and well-being of our community. To our partner agencies, JFS and Wexner Heritage Village, your work on the front lines on behalf of communities at risk was outstanding and literally life-saving. The community owes you a debt of gratitude, and we also celebrate your success tonight. Thank you to my counterparts, Pam Gerwin from JFS, Mark Yale and Ira Kane from WHV, and their respective professional staffs for all your hard work. To Jewish Columbus, we thank you for committing the much-needed additional financial support beyond our normal allocation. You engaged us fully, taking the time to understand our issues and digging into the numbers with us. As I said to your board the other day, I will never forget the Cold Spring Day when I made my appeal for additional funding to the Jewish Columbus Board on Zoom. Two things stand out about that meeting. First, I was not wearing pants. And it was sinking into me that Zoom might be the greatest business invention of all time. Secondly, and probably more importantly, was the unanimous support of the Jewish Columbus Board in the vote that followed. Thank you to Bob Schottenstein, Audrey Tuckerman, and of course, our own Liz Shafran and Jim Wengrad, and all of our board members who serve on the Jewish Columbus Board for your work to facilitate and foster a new spirit of cooperation between our agencies. A big thank you to Carol Folkrith and all the past board presidents, some of whom are here tonight, and their respective boards. We absolutely could not have made it through this crisis without your leadership and stewardship that positioned the JCC to withstand the fallout from COVID. A special note of thanks to my friends Richard Williams, Jeff Meyer, Joe Snyderman, Heidi Levy, Ben Zaks, Lisa Newmark, and Jenny Kammeyer for their mentorship, advice, and availability. It must be noted that in the middle of all this chaos and tumult of COVID, we successfully implemented a new computer system here at the J. This would be a tricky task in normal times, but it can be categorized as phenomenal during a pandemic. Thanks to all of the staff that worked diligently to make it happen, this new system will enhance our member experience and will improve almost every agency function. To my fellow board members, a mere thank you does not seem good enough. Your dedication and support of our JCC never wavered. In fact, if anything, it increased. When your personal lives were in chaos, you gave your time and your treasure. There's an old adage in business, always surround yourself with people that are smarter than you. And that certainly is the case with the JCC board and me. Together, we went through something very tough, and it bonds us all forever. A sincere thank you to our dynamic Dayton duo over here, Marlene and Jeff, for chairing the meeting. And my congratulations to everyone who has been recognized tonight. It is truly an honor to be associated with such dedicated staff and volunteers. A shout out to my wife, Sarah, and my business partners for supporting my volunteer work and being understanding of the time commitment it takes. I think everyone was given this brochure, our annual report, as they walked in. I encourage you to look through it and take note of all the people that so generously contributed to the JCC over the last year. It is amazing and gratifying that so many made the JCC one of their priorities while dealing with the sadness and turmoil that COVID brought into their personal lives. The encouragement I've received from the community during my tenure has been humbling and unbelievable. The Columbus JCC has been part of my life for 55 plus years, and I've been involved with the board for nearly 30. Please know that it has been an honor and a privilege to serve as board president and, in some small way, help secure and continue the legacy of our beloved JCC. Thank you.
Rick, thank you so much for your leadership. We really appreciate what you've done during this unprecedented year, and as a board member as well, I can't thank you enough for leading us into this new experience going forward. I know you didn't expect to lead us through this global pandemic, but you've done an incredible job. Thanks again.
The JCC established the Shem, the Good Name Award, in honor of Larry Schaefer and his outstanding contributions to the Central Ohio community. The award is presented to an individual who represents the next generation of community leaders. The recipient of this year's award will join Karen Meyer and Mike Clapper, as well as the 2019 Larry D. Schaefer Award winner, Shane Levin, at next year's JCCA Biennial. Please join me in congratulating this year's recipient, Heidi Solomon.
Thank you. Thank you, Mike, Ronnie, Rick, Karen, and so many others here at the JCC for all of your support. You make things look easy, and the reality is that you pour everything into the programs and facilities to support our community and ensure that it thrives. I'm honored to be included among my fellow recipients over the years, individuals that are committed to driving change, championing effectiveness, and have the ability to accomplish things and get them done. I'm in awe of Larry's legacy and the many contributions that he's made. It's amazing to be recognized for something that I love to do. I actually can't imagine not being involved in the Jewish community. Some of my earliest memories are about being with my family and being engaged in something larger than me. My parents instilled this in my siblings and I, and being a part of the JCC was our way of life. After all, they did meet at a JCC dance. From Shabbos dinner at my grandmother's, where we always placed coins in the tzedakah box before sundown, to attending Jewish day camp, or being a student board member at Hillel, my Jewish roots run deep and are anchored in a foundation that supports my passion for the JCC and the Jewish community at large. I understand the importance, but also recognize that this is where I feel most at home. After all, it's family that looks after you and supports you when you need them most, and this year has reinforced that very idea to its core. I want to thank my husband, AJ, who some of you may know. He's the ultimate cheerleader. His support is fierce, his love is unconditional, and his sense of humor is, well, appreciated. You keep us all smiling and laughing. I couldn't be more thankful for that JCC. That day, that summer, we're at the JCC day camp, we were brought together. And my children, Ethan, Emma, and Josh, who each cast a different shadow, but remind me of the importance to stay humble, kind, and passionate. I hope that my shadow will remind them how important it is that we continue to support our family. Not just the family that we share a roof with, but our extended family, our community, and the need to support each other. Thank you to my partners at the JCC for the opportunity to support our family, to engage with our community day in and day out. I'm incredibly grateful for that, and I look forward to what we can do together in the future. Thank you.
Hi again. I'm Jenny Kameyer, immediate past president and chair of the Board of Trustees Nominating Committee. I just want to take a second to thank the volunteers who served on our committee this year. It was a terrific process, and I really appreciate the thoughts and wisdom that was shared by everybody on the committee. And now it's my honor to present to you the board slate for our new fiscal year. Thank you so much to the board members who are completing their board terms. And if you are here, I think there is one, please stand when I call your name. Howard Burnett, Nelson Genshaft, and Steve Weiler. Thank you, gentlemen. Stand. You never go away, don't forget that. On the screen, you will also see the list of board members who are being re-elected and continuing their board service for another term. Our new officers, and again, please stand when I call your name. We have our president, Karen Shore-Meyer, treasurer, Mark Unger, secretary, Ayelet Ben-David, vice president, Julie Cohen, vice president, Ben Cosberg, vice president, Heidi Solomon, and Vice President Lauren Rubin. Thank you. We are also adding 5 new super terrific board members, and it is my honor to introduce to you, and please stand when I call your name, Alan Golding, Elliot Good, Shelley Igdaloff, Carol Looper, and Sherry Worman. And new board members, your first order of business is to meet out in the lobby after this meeting. There is apparently a picture that you will be a part of. This slate of officers and trustees was approved at the April 12, 2021 board meeting. Tonight marks the transition of power and welcomes Karen Meyer as the president of the Board of Trustees of the Jewish Community Center of Greater Columbus. Congratulations, Karen. There you are. I'm excited to see how the JCC thrives with your leadership, and it is truly a great honor to welcome you into what I call the very awesome and forever dedicated circle of JCC Columbus presidents. Thank you.
Not sure my husband and kids are going to feel this way after this meeting. Thanks. Welcome. It is so nice to see everybody in person and see so many smiling faces. So, over 25 years ago, when I moved to Columbus, the first 2 things I did were to call the Jewish Federation and join the JCC. That's what I was taught by my parents. Get involved in your community. Since my initial involvement, I've always been drawn to the warmth and welcoming atmosphere of the JCC. So it seemed natural for our 4 children to attend the JCC preschool and camp. Over the years, I have had the pleasure of serving on numerous committees as well as on the board of directors. Now, it is my honor to stand before you as the new president of the Columbus JCC. The past 15 months has presented us with challenges we have never faced before. As we've all seen the many effects the pandemic has had on the world, it certainly has impacted us here at the JCC and in our greater community. Fortunately, with our strong leadership and dedicated staff, our JCC is in a stable place. And for that, I want to thank Rick for his strength, wisdom, and skillful guidance during this stressful time. Thank you. Of course, we never would have been able to continue running programs and keep our preschool open without the hard work and sacrifices our staff, our frontline workers, made by coming into the center every day to work. We are so grateful and can't thank you enough for your commitment. And I would be remiss if I did not thank the community for stepping up with additional financial support for our J. We would not have been able to keep our doors open without help from Jewish Columbus, the federal government for the PPP forgiveness loans, and the extremely generous donations from community members. Over the next 2 years, as president, I want to focus on rebuilding our membership, increasing our donor list, as well as introducing new programs to address the unprecedented anti-Semitism we are currently facing in our country. Before the pandemic, we had 2,080 active member units, and that number has dropped by nearly 40% to only 1,263 active members today. We need to reach out to our community and rebuild our membership up to what it once was. To increase membership, we can continue to offer incentives like Black Friday specials or no registration fee upon joining. We must make individual calls to the members who dropped out when we were forced to close our doors and welcome them back. We also need to explore new ways to expand our membership beyond the 43209 zip code. Additionally, we can collaborate with other JCCs, other Jewish organizations in the city, as well as non-sectarian groups. Partnerships will allow us to offer many more learning opportunities to a broader spectrum of participants. In fact, this is how, through We Are the J, we reach people across the country during the COVID crisis. I would like to see us expand our donor list. We need to reach out to potential new donors, large and small, as well as continue stewarding our current donors and members. The warmth of the J is what brings so many of us through the doors every day. Let's draw new people in through additional engagement so they can become hooked just as we are. To help do this, I will be looking to the board members to take a more active role on committees. We need your help to develop plans and execute them to build a stronger membership and budget. It is my hope that through alliances with Jewish Columbus and other local agencies, we will offer some educational programs and community building to address anti-Semitism, especially for our teens who are facing this more often. Please feel free to call me with any ideas, concerns, or just to catch up. I'm excited for this next journey I'm embarking on. I'm honored for this opportunity and hope that you will continue to help guide us to support our mission. Thank you. Now I'd like to welcome Josh Barkin up, please.
Thanks, Karen. Good evening, everyone. I'm Josh Barkin, the co-chair of the JCC Life and Legacy Task Force. I'm excited to be here with everybody in person tonight. I'm here tonight to share some exciting news with you. As many of you know, the first year of participating in Life and Legacy program has been a tremendous success for the JCC and the entire Columbus Jewish community. Through the first year plus of the program, the JCC has received 38 letters of intent at an estimated value of $950,000. Throughout the years, the JCC has also been the recipients of a handful of other endowment gifts that ensure the future of the JCC. Many of you in this room have so generously agreed to participate, and for that we thank you. It is my pleasure to announce that we are officially creating the JCC Columbus Legacy Society. You will see the names of the founding members of the JCC Columbus Legacy Society on the screen behind me. These dedicated individuals and families have decided to create their Jewish legacy at the JCC through establishing an endowment or fund for the benefit of the JCC, naming the JCC as a beneficiary of their life insurance policy, or leaving a bequest to the JCC in their will or trust. These legacy commitments ensure that the JCC will live on for the future generations. We are so grateful for all of these donors. Please join me in giving them a round of applause. If you don't see your name and you have already set up a legacy gift, or you are interested in discussing how you can join the list, please contact Melanie Butter for more information. Thank you and have a great evening.
Well, thanks, Josh. Thanks for your hard work. During this first year of Life and Legacy, I know it's quite an effort getting people to commit to something that up to this point has been unknown, especially during this past year, in which starting a new initiative by you and your task force, and you've done a fantastic job. Thanks for all your supporters, too.
A final congratulations to all of our award winners tonight. We are all inspired by the hard work that you do at the J and for the community. Thank you again for your ongoing support of the JCC.
And before we close this evening, we have one final presentation. So we're going to invite Mike Clapper back up to the stage and Karen Meyer to the podium.
Thank you, Marlene and Jeff, for your help and support at tonight's annual meeting. You guys did a great job, and you're hired again for next year. Rick, we'd like you to join us up here if you could.
Being president of the JCC is a huge undertaking, and Rick Meislish had an incredibly hard tenure as we navigated through this pandemic. He did it with grace and passion. Rick, we are so proud of you and thankful.
So Rick, we have a little gift for you. We have a Seder plate as a token of our appreciation for the incredible work that you have done. And again, as we say, thank you, thank you, thank you. We always like to say thank you 3 times. So congratulations to the board. We have kind of a tradition of ending our board meetings. And normally, if you guys, we've had 20 different meetings over the last 15 months. And normally at this time, I normally say, Rick, bring us home. So for one last time, Rick, bring us home.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Not quite done with me yet. Before those brief closing remarks, I just want to take a few minutes to say a few words about our CEO, Mr. Clapper. Most of you probably do not know that before Mike began his illustrious JCC career, he was a coach, a basketball coach. Of course, he also claims to have been a pretty good basketball player, but we have no evidence of that. So my remarks will focus on his coaching prowess. Please indulge me while I mention some of the attributes of a successful coach and see if they don't apply to Mike. First, a successful coach must be a passionate and fearless leader. They possess the skill to develop and implement a plan formulate a strategy to give their team the best chance at success. Then they must assess their personnel and put each person in the best possible position to execute the plan. It is imperative that they understand each team member's personal motivation and skill set and effectively integrate a group of disparate people into a winning team. They must stay calm in the face of adversity when their strategy gets totally upended. A successful coach is a motivator, an innovator, and has the self-confidence to listen to his assistants and alter the game plan when necessary. Most importantly, a coach helps each team member develop and pushes them to improve and perform beyond what they themselves thought possible. I had a front row seat to witness what Mike did for this agency over the last 15 months. And from my vantage point, he did all of this and so much more. A few times a year, I will run into one of my old coaches from my childhood, my teenage years. As adults, we obviously converse by using each other's first names. But when I first see this person, I always greet him as coach. It is my way of showing him respect. With that one-word salutation, I acknowledge that special place he has in my life. What we did together, what he did for me nearly 50 years ago, not only to make me a better player, but a better teammate and a better person. So with that in mind, this relationship that I have with this individual impacted the rest of my life. And so with that in mind, I ask that you stand, put your hands together to properly acknowledge and pay tribute to our leader, our coach, Mike Clapper, who so definitely led this agency through the COVID crisis. I believe, as I said in a movie once, Mike, you're a Hall of Famer in my book. In closing, I want to share just a few thoughts about the future and really echo the remarks Karen made in her great address about her plans for the future. I sincerely believe that being a board member of the J has never been more important than it is right now. By most accounts, anti-Semitism is at an all-time high around the globe. And it is no secret that our country is deeply divided. We live in the era of big data and 24/7 information. But my observation is that most people are very selective about what they hear and tend to reside in silos and echo chambers that only serve to reinforce their already firmly held beliefs. It enables them to dig in, not reach out. The pandemic, a common enemy of all, should have served to unite. But sadly, it only seems to have deepened our divide. As JCC board members and community leaders, we must push back and resist the tendency to succumb to this thinking. Our educational, cultural, and fitness programming is offered through a Jewish lens, on a Jewish frequency, for the entire community. And because of that, we are uniquely positioned to promote harmony and togetherness. That is why this real estate on College Avenue and all of our properties and our new virtual presence is more important than ever. As I have said before, the J can act like a vaccine for what ails our society. If we have learned anything from the pandemic, it is that we can't take our future for granted. I firmly believe that so many people generously supported us in this time because they intrinsically understand the importance to the community and our importance to the community and wanted to secure our future. Unfortunately, like all of us, I have witnessed far too much pain, suffering, and loss of life of fellow JCC members over the past year. But what I have come to realize and appreciate more than ever during my grief and mourning of both Jewish and non-Jewish members is how significant a role the JCC plays in people's lives. From birth to old age, there are hundreds, if not thousands, of moments and memories that take place right here, that are weaved into a tapestry of a joyous, meaningful, and purposeful life. As a vital community treasure, we must protect and defend our mission so that future generations can enjoy and be enriched by the J as we and our families have been for decades. Karen, I know you will ably lead us going forward. You're passionate, smart, and dedicated. We will do our best to support you and the staff. No doubt there is tough work ahead, as building back will present different obstacles beyond what we just experienced. Finally, I wish everyone a great summer as you engage with family and friends in a way that has recently not been possible. But I ask you to return in the fall energized and ready to move us forward. As always, it will be challenging, but I know we will be up to the task. After all, we are the J. Thank you and good night. Be sure to grab your goodies on the way out.